The name's Bond. James Bond. Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Matt here. Hope you're doing well. So we got some news today. Now this isn't official. The studio that owns the Bond franchise or the producers that own the rights to Bond, the Broccoli's, Barbara Broccoli, they have not come out officially, but it looks like, at least it's going around town, that Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be the new James Bond. Again, this isn't official yet, so we can't officially announce this, but it is swirling around that they have cast Aaron Taylor Johnson as the new Bond. Now, this isn't surprising on a couple fronts. Number one, they said, the Broccoli's have said, and they knew the next time they knew Bond is going to be a younger Bond, and I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is in like his mid-30s or so. I don't remember how old Daniel Craig was when he was cast, but that's number one. Number two, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't think I would have ever thought that the guy from Kick-Ass 14 years ago would then 14 years later be cast as James Bond. He is an interesting choice on a couple of different things. He doesn't look, he looks like he could be James Bond, and then on the other hand, he doesn't look like he can be. It's like that weird, like, he can be a big guy. He's shown that he can get really muscular. Just look at his new film, Kraven the Hunter, that's coming out later this year. And then you've seen him in other movies. He's a very good actor. I really like him as an actor. He's very talented. He's very good. But then I also think they went with someone that is pretty well known. If you look at the previous Bond actors over the years, a lot of them weren't huge names when they were cast. I mean, you look at Sean Connery. I mean, James Bond made Sean Connery. You even look at even like a Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, he had a TV show or two, was in Miss Doubtfire, a supporting role in that. But even Bond was the one that really, Daniel Craig. He's another one. He had a few movies as support, not even like the second main character, like in terms of football, third or fourth string. Whether that was Tomb Raider, whether that was Road to Perdition, he wasn't a huge name yet. And Bond is the thing that put Daniel Craig on the map. And I think there's others, Roger Moore. So it is interesting that and this is true, that Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be our new James Bond. That they did go with someone who's pretty well known. Like I said, from Kick-Ass to Godzilla to the Avengers, Quicksilver, to being in other movies like Tenet, Nocturnal Animals, whether he's going to be Kraven the Hunter, and so on and so forth. And a lot of those movies are big movies, blockbusters. So, like I said, to cast an actor like that, and yes, you could argue, other than for probably Godzilla, well, Kick-Ass and Godzilla, he is the main character. But other than that, the other movies, other than until Kraven comes out, he's been a supporting character, but he still has had those blockbusters under his wing, where a lot of the previous actors that played James Bond did not. So yeah, like I said, my favorite Bond is Daniel Craig. My favorite movie of his, of the whole franchise, is Casino Royale. And Skyfall was great too. I'll be curious. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting, curious, and this ends up being true. And it's not that long. I mean, in terms of, I think a lot of people forget that No Time to Die was supposed to come out in 2019. Originally, it was set for November 2019, like most of the James Bond movies. And then they pushed it to February of 2020. Then the pandemic happened. Then they pushed it to April 2020. And that's when we were really in the thick, the heat, the lockdown mode of no one's going anywhere. And then they had to move it completely. And then they moved it to all the way to 2021, to October of 2021. And that's when it finally came out. But the movie was done at the beginning of 2020. So it was already done almost 2 years before it was even released. So the studio behind Bond already had those 2 years knowing that in No Time to Die, that was going to be Daniel Craig's final movie. That they could have already had a giant wall in a room with different actors' headshots and said, I want to look at him, I want to look at him, I want to look at him, 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 him. I mean, and now, 2 or 3 years later, they might have finally narrowed it down to Aaron Taylor Johnson. But let me know in the comments below, do you think Aaron Taylor Johnson is the right actor to play the new James Bond? Like I said, he's a big guy, he can get muscular, he can do the tough scenes. Even in that Bullet Train movie, he was really good in. But do you think he's too well known to take on a big guy, to take on a major character like Bond? Like I said, the runner-up to play Bond before Daniel Craig was Henry Cavill. But Henry Cavill was a nobody at the time. Zero, other than the Count of Monte Cristo. Nobody knew who Henry Cavill was. This was way before Man of Steel. So, but now if Henry Cavill got picked, that would be a different story. Which I am kind of surprised that they went with Aaron Taylor Johnson instead of Henry Cavill, if this ends up being true. But let me know in the comments below. I want to know your thoughts. What is your favorite James Bond movie? Do you think Aaron Taylor Johnson is the right choice? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. The name's Matt the Brat.